Like, oh, this is good for a photo. Like, what's your opinion on it?
Here on NBA Today, our Lakers reporter Dave McMenamin reported that Luka Dončić plans to play Tuesday in Phoenix against the Suns, a source told ESPN. It'll be Dončic's preseason debut. Lakers coach J.J. Redick said Dončić will play in 2 out of the Lakers' final 3 preseason games. So, Brian, Luka's playing tomorrow, but no reports on Wednesday's game against his former team. What do you expect from him this preseason?
Well, I don't know, but I would find it doubtful that he's going to play in the back-to-back, even though the Wednesday game against Dallas, which is on ESPN,
would be nice. Would be nice.
They play finished Friday across the street against the Kings, so I think there's a decent chance the plan for Luka would be tomorrow and then Friday. Look, they need some offense. They need the offense to get going without LeBron. And so, you know, the Lakers have the longest preseason of any team in the league. They play 6 games. So it's not that big of a deal that Luka doesn't play till now. But one of the things that we heard JJ say very clearly was he wanted championship shape. So Luka came back in good condition. Let's see the speed at which he plays with. Austin Reeves, I will say this, has had 2 excellent preseason games. He's played in 2. He scored in 20 in both of them. He's looked very, very good. The Luka-Austin Reeves backcourt, even without LeBron James, could be very powerful to start the season.
I'm very intrigued and interested to see how DeAndre Ayton does this season. You know, in 2018, and Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, but nobody batted an eye when Ayton got picked over Luka.
About nobody. I'll push back on that.
No, it sounds good now.
No.
But nobody that day really. Maybe a few.
It wasn't a controversial pick.
No. And so, you know, people are fascinated about who the next great center is, and he's shown flashes, but over the last 2 seasons, maybe in the last 3 seasons, he's digressed. Not scored, people question his effort, and wondered if he could ever be the guy that you expected him to be. Now, the spotlight that he's in is the same spotlight he was in when the Suns were in the finals. There's going to be somebody watching him every day. Putting on a Laker uniform is different. He's playing with LeBron. He's playing with Luka. I think that there's going to be tremendous pressure on Ayton to live up to what he could potentially do. And if he could, Ayton to live up what he could potentially do. And if he is that player, if he could rebound, if he could average 20, if he could do well in pick and rolls, he is the X factor that could potentially help the Lakers have a
lot of ifs, I would imagine. I would agree. Now,
but
here's
possible.
Maybe.
It is possible.
We'll see.
I believe in him.
I'm glad somebody does. And JJ, I'm sure will, as we get into the season. Bobby, one thing that stuck out to me from that video we saw there was JJ telling the guys to communicate. Talk. You heard him say that. And that's on defense. We've had a lot of talk about offense here on this panel. What about the defense?
Well, their defense is going to keep them above water until LeBron gets back. That's the big thing that I'm going to pay attention to. We saw glimpses after the Luka trade of this team being a really good defensive team, certainly middle of the pack overall there. I'm concerned, where are they going to get the offense from? And that's why I say defense for this Lakers team to be above 500 when LeBron gets back, sometime in the next 3 to 4 weeks.
So, without, let's say LeBron, he's not going to play to start the season, but we don't know how long he'll be out. This West is hard. It's not forgiving, Brian. So you cannot afford to come out slow out of the gates if you're anybody, let alone the Lakers.
The difference between the Lakers being the 3 seed and being in the play-in last year was 2 games. So keep that in mind when you have a bad 5 or 8 game stretch. The one thing I'll say about the Lakers, they're a lot healthier now than they were a year ago. I know that LeBron is not going to start the season healthy. Jared Vanderbilt is back and much bigger impact defensively that he can bring.
Looked good in the preseason game against the Warriors the other night.
And Gabe Vincent, who was out a bunch early last season. Gabe Vincent's had a couple of really good games. And look, let's see Luka with this more slimmed down figure. Let's see how he defends. I have low expectations there. I think you ask him to dominate on the offensive end. You ask him to be passable on defense. But in theory, he should be more agile defensively.
Yeah, look, I think there's no question that that's something. And here's the other thing I think. If this is going to be Luka's team here moving forward, right? And it is kind of now, right? I also feel like he could work on his leadership too, right? Being more vocal. He's a lead by example guy. At some point, you got to take the reins.
Things off the court, like taking the guys.
Right, the Porsche thing, that's a good start.
I hadn't heard any of that in Dallas.
Right.
So that's
Luka Dončić and Marcus Smart set to make preseason debuts versus the Suns. The Los Angeles Lakers are halfway through their preseason schedule, having played 3 of 6 games, but fans are still waiting to see Luka Dončić and Marcus Smart hit the court. Dončić isn't dealing with an injury, but after a demanding summer representing Slovenia in Eurobasket, the Lakers are taking a cautious approach. With the regular season fast approaching and a heavy workload expected, the team is in no rush to push their superstar too early. Marcus Smart has had a slightly bumpier road. First, he was dealing with a mild Achilles tendon issue. Then, a brief illness kept him out of action. While nothing major, the team decided it was best not to risk anything during the early preseason. That said, chemistry and on-court rhythm still matter. And from the start, the plan has been for both Dončić and Smart to play in at least 2 preseason games. According to The Athletic's Dan Wojcicki, their first appearance is expected to be this Tuesday against the Phoenix Suns. The Lakers' final 3 preseason matchups are set. Tuesday versus the Suns, in Phoenix, Wednesday versus the Mavericks, in Las Vegas, and Friday versus the Kings, at home. If Dončić and Smart play Tuesday, don't expect them to suit up the very next night in Vegas. It's unlikely the team risks back-to-back action before the season even starts. That would leave Friday's game as a possible final tune-up before opening night on October 21st. Dončić in particular has looked sharper than ever this offseason. His performance for Slovenia during Eurobasket was electric, and fans are eager to see if he can pick up right where he left off. Of course, this preseason appearance is more about shaking off rust than making headlines, but all eyes will be on him. Luka Dončić talks Lakers mentality without LeBron James. With LeBron James set to miss the start of the season, leadership responsibilities will fall on other shoulders, including Dončić and Smart. After practice on Saturday, Dončić was asked about the team's mindset heading into the season without their veteran superstar. It's definitely a big change. LeBron is an incredible player. He can do so much for us. But at the end of the day, our mentality has to be next man up. We've got a group of guys who've been working hard, and we're hoping LeBron can return as soon as possible. Of course, we'll need him, but for now, it's about stepping up. Dončić's return to the court, even in a preseason setting, comes at a pivotal time for the Lakers. With LeBron's sideline and a number of new faces on the roster, the need for cohesion and leadership is greater than ever. Dončić, now entering a new chapter in his career after joining the Lakers, is expected to take on a more central role, not just as a scorer, but as the team's primary playmaker. His ability to control the tempo, create shots for others, and deliver in clutch moments has already been a hallmark of his aim in Dallas and on the international stage. Now, Lakers fans are eager to see how his presence can reshape the team's identity, especially as they transition into a post-LeBron era, even if temporarily. Marcus Smart, meanwhile, is bringing a different kind of impact. Known for his intensity, defense, and leadership, Smart's voice in the locker room has already been noticed by teammates during training camp. Though his minutes might be limited early on, his return on Tuesday would mark his first time sharing the court with Dončić in Lakers colors, and could give fans a glimpse of how the backcourt chemistry will develop. According to team insiders, head coach Darvin Ham has been experimenting with different lineup combinations in practice, with a focus on building a defensive identity anchored by Smart, Anthony Davis, and newcomer Jared Vanderbilt. The addition of Dončić gives the Lakers the offensive versatility they've lacked in recent years, especially in transition and late-game situations. Around the league, there's been growing curiosity about how this new-look Lakers squad will perform, particularly with such a dramatic shift in personnel and leadership. Analysts have pointed out that while the team has star power, its success may depend heavily on how quickly Dončić and Smart adapt to their new roles, and how the younger players respond in LeBron's absence. The Suns, Tuesday's opponent, aren't expected to take it easy either. With their own high expectations and a fully loaded roster featuring Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, the matchup will offer an early test of the Lakers' readiness, even in a preseason context. Players and coaches alike have emphasized that it's not just about wins and losses in these games, but about rhythm, timing, and building trust on the floor. Still, with just 3 preseason games remaining, time is running short for final adjustments before the real grind begins. The Lakers open their regular season on October 21st, and whether or not LeBron is back by then, the spotlight will be firmly on Dončić and Smart. Their performances this week could set the tone not just for the first few games, but for the entire direction of the season. As Dončić put it in a recent interview, every season is a new challenge. This time, it's about more than just playing well. It's about leading, helping others, and making sure we're ready as a group when the lights come on.